And we are back after what was it, a 4-day weekend for us for not being live at least. Well, welcome back,
Yeah,
Tracker.
thanks, Matt. It's nice to be back.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just needed a
Yeah.
little extended break from that week. It's like, oh, nothing, nothing, you know, nothing great was going to happen last week. The market was making it pretty clear, and they're still trying to make it a little scary at the open here this week. Um,
Well, with some things, yeah. It's
yeah,
like not for the SPY though. They want to send it up almost 4 points pre-market, huh?
oh, nice. Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
be more like you, and I'm just going to be focusing more on the on weekly candle action and less on daily and hourly and those 7 minute candles. I won't be looking at the
The
7 minute
7 minute.
candles very much anymore.
Well,
Let's
it's
see.
everything just moves so fast now. It's just sticking with the trend, I think, is where it's at because trying to just time the intraday stuff, people get washed out so easily. So easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that happened with me in XRP. Like when all the action was really hot, I
Yeah.
just should have sold some of the resistance and then just held in cash and waited. But instead, I said, oh
Yeah.
well, look, Pepe is doing this, and then or it's a laggard, and maybe shit will come up, and then I traded a bunch of crypto around, and I ended up just losing it all in fees um, and over trading.
Yeah. Overtrading is the death of a lot of people.
Exactly. So just don't do it. Do be like a longer cycle trader if you can. If you want to
Yeah, I
do
think
day trading, you're in the wrong place. You want to follow a real blonde broker and her
yeah,
Discord.
RBB is she's where it's at. But I
Yeah,
think like for the most people out there, this is the best way to accumulate wealth because uh, you just got to ride the trends, ride the cycles, you know. And when
yep.
you see the cycle topping, that's when you want to get out. And I don't see it doing that just yet. But with that said, we can kick it off here with the SPY. And yeah, like pre-market is up 344. Do I trust it? No, I don't trust that because I drew a black little line there from the previous highs in the weeks before, and it can't get above, right? It cannot close any kind of candles above that 608 level. So guess what it's doing? It's going back towards a resistance where they could easily just freak people out later and then just close it later at lower levels. So I do not trust the pre-market action at all. So until it starts closing weekly candles above these wicks here, then I'm just going to be cautious with this SPY and the QQQ. Same situation. I have like a black line drawn there as well, and it can't really get above that either, and that's in the 530s. So it is going up pre-market, but again, it could get closer and closer during the week, and then they can just sell it off later. So essentially, your support is around there at the 519, the conversion line still for the QQQ. So I always say candles need to prove it that they want to be bullish or bearish, and so far they are not proving anything except stuck in a range. And the IWM, this one's also stuck, but the good news is, well, I don't know if it's good news because last week it did close below the 786 again for 2 weeks in a row. And but the good news is it is opening up above that level this morning, or that's what it's looking like so far. There's still about an hour left for the market to open. So let's see, 226.74. That's always going to be the focus for IWM. This one looks easier to break through resistance than the SPY and QQQ, so I kind of trust it a little bit more, right? So possibly once it gets back above this 226.74, then perhaps things can go higher. And with the SMH here, it's back in a normal zone, right? It's back above the cloud and the baseline, and also if you even add the moving average on there, you can see that the 250.95 is your resistance, and the moving average there, it closed above two, so that's around 241. So this is actually looking healthier for the SMH. SMH, yeah. So that's good. But let's go take a look at Bitcoin too, because I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, is it going lower?" Well, no. I mean, it's just stuck in a range. Bitcoin is just right since it broke out in November, still between the 1.618 and the 1.414. So this is your range, right? When you go day over day, what is it doing? Well, look at this daily 4 doji candles in a row. And I made a post on X showing that the last time it kind of did 3 doji candles in a row back here in January, it just went up. So it's kind of looking like that's the direction it wants to go now too, because it's staying inside the cloud and it's staying above the 97050 conversion line right now. So let's see if it can just continue higher and higher and higher. So yeah, it's just range bound, looking for direction. So let's see if it can just continue to build a base inside the daily cloud and go higher.
Can we look at ETH real quick? I have an
Yeah.
idea that I want to propose to people.
Yeah. Ethereum. Yeah. Weekly chart. It's holding the moving averages and the 618. Yeah.
That looks good. So, two of my subscribers posted or asked me about these ideas. One of them pointed out that the Ethereum right now is the most shorted it's ever been, and so that's ripe for reversal. And then also, I've got this ETHU chart, and it looks pretty juicy. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
Yeah. I mean, essentially all crypto is just in a range right now. And Ethereum, if it continues to hold this 2532, I'm not going to be worried about it. So whoever's shorting it at support, I never think that's a good idea.
And I mean, it's like the most shorted that support it's ever been. So like, one person's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, do they know something we don't?" It's like, no, they're just like, too many people are piling into the same ideas. And when it comes
Yeah.
to like options market and shorting and stuff like that, you don't want to be with the crowd because those are the ones that always get manipulated by the market makers. If you could
Yeah.
show my screen for just a second, I just want to show
Yeah.
this ETHU. It's a 2x ETF of Ethereum, and let's take this back to like a weekly chart. So you can see it's had a lot of these gap down island reversals. Like here it is on a big scale, um, and then now it's doing it again on a smaller scale. And we've got this island. It gapped down. It's just hanging around down here. It's ripe for another gap up. And what I did was I took the previous chart candles and I just kind of copied them over here to see what they could look like scaled the same way. So these are those sort of those ghost candles. Um, yeah, like an ABC reversal to the 618 from where it hit its peak right here. Oh, wow, it's an after hours peak of 1685. So, that's like 114% higher just to get to the A level. 190% higher if it gets to the C level. So I don't know. I bought some ETH for like 430 this morning, and if it drops as low as like 330 or something, I'll buy even more. But I like this. It's just a play I'm trying out. Okay, we'll get back to the requests and stuff. What do you want to do next, Matt?
Let's see. Let's just, since people are talking about Tesla, I think let's just
Sure.
jump on the Tesla train. And so I made a video.
Don't forget, Matt does it. He does a video every week, every Friday. He does the end of the week video for Palantir and Tesla. So definitely check those out.
Yeah, and so, well, first of all, going to this chart that I shared on the screen here. I shared this for a long time now. This my linear scale again. It's not just on Friday I showed it. I've shown it for a very, very long time. And even when it was way down here, I've showed this chart. So what we're really focusing on now, what I'm focusing on now, is this orange level, a back test, right? And that's right around 358. And price pre-market is hovering around there. So this is looking like an important zone, right? But I also mentioned that there is potential for things to get liquidity below that as well, just because you can see prices always get liquidity above levels. They also get liquidity below levels too. So if that is the possibility, we can see that, well, there is the 886 below at 353.19. That's more confluence of support, and also with the conversion line of the Ichimoku. Right here, we can see that, the baseline is at 341. So if it wanted to get that liquidity down below into the low 350s or even the 340s, I think it's possible as well, right? But it doesn't change the setup for me at all because it's a very healthy chart, right? And a lot of charts that get kind of extended from the cloud, they go back and they are a little bit more volatile than we're used to. And when they're a little bit more volatile than we're used to, then basically people freak out. Like XRP is the perfect example. It's volatile because it really exploded, but that's just still in a normal range, right? And now Tesla is basically doing the same thing where it exploded massively from the cloud, and now it's just buying time to get closer to the cloud maybe in the weeks to come. And then by that time, perhaps it can finally go higher. So it could just spend some time down here, maybe until like March or April or whatever in the same range, and then go higher. But this is basically a normal setup for something that was the 886, you can see in the past, was a very big, important zone, right? So just going back to that zone is a normal backtest, right? And sometimes backtests go deeper than people like, and therefore they want to call it bearish. But for me, it's an opportunity. So everybody has to do what's best for them. But for me, I will be doing some TSLL hunting probably all this week.
Oh yeah, that's a good hunt.
Yeah.
If you just show my Tesla screen real quick, I'll be really fast with this one. I'm just going to say, as far as Tesla goes, it really is at a good support level. But just for funsies, why don't you put in some limit orders to scalp it if a wick should come all the way down to 335.80? I kind of put this out last week that if this level broke here at 365.80, then it's the target support below that would be this 335.80, and it could just wick down there and run back up. So if you have your limit orders ready, you might be able to catch the 15 minutes that happens in before it runs right back up again. That's all. That's my big idea on Tesla. Other than that, just keep holding it because I see higher and higher in the long term.
Yeah, and the problem with
and then I wanted to do this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the problem with Tesla, like, or any stock, people want to try to time it and sell low to buy back lower. And the reason why that often doesn't work is because people usually never buy back in, right? Because they always have the mentality is like, oh, it's going lower, so I'm not going to buy back in. It's going lower. So, I mean, if you do sell low to try to buy back lower, then actually do buy back lower, or else you never will. That's the problem with that strategy right there. But go ahead. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm going to do this Tiger question real quick. Someone was asking if there's an entry level for Tiger. I want to point out that I identified this Head and Shoulders last week for my subscribers. And I think I talked about it in the show too. Anyway, it looks like it's playing out. So you can still, the entry now is just where it is. It's not going back down again. It should break out now to 979. So, if you haven't bought it in already, I've been holding it for a while, then you can buy it now and then just ride it up to 979. My chart TA says it should go actually to at least 1425 next. I just don't know, how directly it'll get there. But as far as this pattern goes, 979 is the next stop. So you could get a quick profit in there. Let's see. Oh, TSLL. I feel like I've talked about the TSLL time decay problem. Again, it's just you just don't want to hold it through a long downturn. But if you just keep DCAing into it until it takes off, you're great. Don't worry about that. You'll still end up with like more gains in TSLL than if you did the same strategy at Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only really detrimental if you dollar cost average on the way down in a bear market because then it loses a lot more value a lot quicker. So it's never that good of an idea. Yeah.
And Tesla is definitely in a bull market. It's bullish for tech and Tesla.
Bull trend.
ASTS Spacemobile, for the person who asked the question, it fell into this zone that I said was a great buy zone. And so hopefully you guys remembered that and bought into it. My next target is 46.81 for ASTS Spacemobile. So basically everything it did up until now, this wave 5 top becomes a large degree wave 1, and then this buy zone becomes the wave 2, and so now I've got these extensions. So,
yeah, we were live a couple weeks ago when it was in the 18s, and it was like, come on now. And sure enough, it just took off. just took off.
But do you want to do your space mobile to just give people a
No,
different?
it's basically
Okay,
no, it's basically going. It looks like it wants to go higher, but there is some resistance around 28 that it has to break through. So that's the focus for me.
okay. AVGO, same deal. Everything that it did up and well, no, this was the 1-2, and this is a wave 3 1-2, so it's actually a little different. But I did set up a buy zone, and price did explore it. So we are ready now to go up to finish the wave 3. So inside of this, obviously, this is 1-2. I guess I really need to do it like this. This will be like the 3 sub 3 4 3 sub 4, and then all of wave. What? This is the wrong one. Sorry. This is all. This is wave 3 from here to here. That's sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, sub 4, and then all of wave 3. So I don't usually draw the wave 3, late wave 4 in this because I want to capture all the rest of it in my charts here. That's why I just do this weird shorthand. So this is all wave 3, all of wave 4, all of wave 5. So anyway, yeah, 369.31 next for another like 60% higher, 61% higher almost. There's my ASTS AVGO. I'll just keep going until you stop me, Matt.
Yeah, I got a lunar
Lunar.
chart.
Oh, go ahead.
I got a lunar chart on deck. Yeah, so my lunar chart here basically is going back to a support zone 2. Pre-market it is bouncing though, but I think last week it did kind of touch that conversion line and almost the bottom of the arc there. But this is essentially your range, right? So it could just stay in this range and then bounce back and forth, maybe getting closer to this weekly cloud over here. So it could just stay here for some time. So is it a bullish chart? Yes, but do I see it breaking above all this resistance anytime soon? And I think the answer really is no. It might just pull what an ASTS did and wait till it gets to the weekly cloud. So it could just go sideways for a long time before trying to break out again, right? And let's not forget how massive of a move that was from like the $3 all the way up to the 24. So usually with massive moves, things take some time to cool off. But essentially, until it gets above my arc here, I'm just going to be saying it's stuck in a range, right? Stuck in a range. So yes, I like it, but I
Yep.
think it's just not for me right now because I think it has some sideways to down action before it wants to go.
Indeed. Um, I like that. I've got got a lunar chart, but all it does is just prove that wave the job of wave 4 is to make you think that the wave 3 was all of wave 5 and it topped out. And but no, they got a new higher high, so now they're going to try to make you think that this was all of wave 5, and then that's just going to like do an ABC retrace, but it won't. It's just going to extend. And so look at this, just a higher high from down here, higher low, new higher high. So far, still a new higher low. So it's still bullish. My chart says it wants to go to 33.21 next. It's just going to take, like Matt said, it might take some time to get there. This is a daily chart, so the weekly chart, and the daily chart does seem to want to give it a little bit more bounce through here. So, like for example, right here at 2140 is March 12th. Right here is February 18th. So maybe it could run off away from the daily Ichimoku cloud. It hasn't touched it really since it started running November of last year. Anyway, I don't want to go on about it too long, but my overall target, my long-term target, is 33.21 next for the year.
All right.
Ooh, I do want to do LES. That's one of my ideas. Well, again, all of my best ideas come from my followers and subscribers who ask me about these things. I took one look at this LES chart and I said, "Oh yeah, that looks pretty awesome." So basically, what it did was um, these 5 waves up is just really the A part and then the B part, and the C doesn't stop until 2344. So all this price action again now is just from the B wave bottom, it's a higher high, higher low. You just need to get back up here to the higher high, and then it can just take off in 5 waves that go up to 2344. Or if I look at it as this is a wave one top and a wave two bottom, then it goes up in five waves, even higher to 2645. So this is two potential paths, either just a direct C waves 2344, or this becomes five waves up to 2645. So I've shown this one many times. You can take a screenshot of it and put it on your wall. That's the path that I think it's going to take.
All right.
How about you, Matt? You want to do?
Yeah, I'll do some Robin Hood with that request. So here's my hood, and hood is good as usual. So yeah, hood just blasted right through this 786, and I thought maybe it was going to get rejected for a moment, but no, it never did. So the 49.52, that's still your weekly support way down there, and that means the target could be the 63.74 for the next resistance, but it's in the middle of a range, so it could easily just come back to retest or before going higher. Yeah, so when things are in the middle of a range, I'm more cautious about what things or what price could really do, because it can literally go either way just to make people over euphoric or scared, right? So with that said, I love the chart, but basically only a retest at support is where I would really like it the most if you're looking on a long position. So with that said, yeah, I think it's going towards, I mean, I'm not selling any of mine. I think it's going to go blast through all-time highs and go to the hundreds, right? That's where I think it's going. Maybe like the 140s, 160s. Hood is good, right? I like it just like I like Coinbase and Hood. They're both above the 786. They're both fighting the 886, and I think Hood just went to catch up with Coin. So one is not better than the other. I think they both have a chance to just go past all-time highs very, very nicely.
Yeah. Let's see. I put the IONQ up here, which is a really cool chart, because it clearly did five waves up right up here, and then did an ABC retrace. So all this wave, these five waves become a large degree wave one, and the retrace becomes large degree wave two, and it's still stuck. It hasn't made the new higher high yet, but it's working on it. So here's your AB before the 1-2, and when it gets into wave three of three, that's when we get the new higher high. So my next target will be the wave one should be 5101. Whoops, don't move that. To 3704, then maybe something around 63, 65, back down, and the large degree target is 7610 for all of wave three, and that's where you kind of want to take off, get half your position out, because the wave four is going to be painful and probably quite long, since this wave two so far might be kind of short. But that's all there is to it. And then, but if you only take half off or 35% of your position off and leave some of it on with this cost below, then it's basically a free ride when it does finally make up to the wave five. So that's one strategy. IONQ, very bullish.
All right. Yeah, I see a LQDT, I think that is, for it's all in lowercase.
I tried to look for that. I couldn't find it.
I think it's liquidity services.
I couldn't find it.
Yeah, LQDT.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have a fib here, and from the all-time high to the low, and that is $34. So it's stuck below it, and it had an opportunity last week to really close above it again, but it failed. So does it really want to close above this week? We'll find out, right? $34, that's the target to close above. I think that's the only thing to focus on, right? Because if it can't get it back above 34, then guess what it's going to do? It's probably going to go retest lower levels of support first. Maybe back in the 32s, the 30s, or even a little bit below in the 26s or 25s, right? So we'll see. 34 is the target. If it can't close above, it might need to go lower.
Yeah, we've seen this pattern before. We get a really nice Moribotsu candle or like a big breakout candle, and then it makes that slightly higher high, and then it needs to go back and test some major support that the big wick, neglected or something, left a gapper or something weird.
Yeah.
Tesla's kind of doing the same thing, unfortunately. I've been looking at that chart so hard.
Yeah,
There's these two tiny gaps.
yeah, but Tesla
Like,
is
and
is
like,
Tesla's well above the 786 and even the 886. So that's a different story.
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, XRP is going to 245. Does that mean Bitcoin's going higher too now? I think it might. It could be a good week for crypto related stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, geez. Let's see. Golden Parachute says, wondering why you guys have not covered the metals bull market. I just want to say, Matt posted a really cool chart. It's Bitcoin divided by gold,
Yeah,
and that one is looking pretty good for
for Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I also see she was requesting MSTR too, so we can talk about that. But
Yep.
essentially, 340 is always the target for MSTR, and MSTR is pre-market 335, and it is trying to get back above this baseline as well, which is 328. So it's just stuck, right? It's stuck in a range between basically the 320s and 340s. That's essentially the range. Even the lower range would be like the 301 or something down up to the 340. But yeah, I think it's just waiting on Bitcoin going sideways, trying to break above resistance, trying to hold support, stuck in a range. But starting with if you want to look at the metals, I mean, there's really nothing to look at because things are breaking out. But gold GLD is just going right towards resistance, right? And it held the 1.414, the 239.98. So yeah, I think while Bitcoin is looking like it wants to break out again, perhaps, maybe, hopefully, cross my fingers, knock on wood, right? We'll see.
Yeah.
GLD is looking like it's going to resistance. So guess what? Which one do I like better? I like things at support zones, not really resistance zones. So it's getting really close to that 272. And when we look at SLV,
Yeah. That
what's that?
that 1618 fib is going to be like a brick wall. A brick
Yeah,
wall.
and this is the log.
Not even a glass
This is a
ceiling.
log-based fib too, so that's going to be really important. So if people know this show, I'm always cautious at resistance. So do I like the metals here? No, I'm not Peter Schiff. I don't like to shill that kind of stuff. And SLV, it's also getting back towards a major resistance zone too, where it got rejected before 31, 07. So yeah, I mean, they're bullish charts, but I don't know if they're really ready to break their resistance. So with that said, I still like the Bitcoin and other crypto related stuff better since they have been hovering closer to support than they have been resistance recently.
I've got a HIMS chart. I'll bet our HIMS charts are going to be just slightly two different stories. Uh, my HIMS chart, I was looking for 4123 to be resistance at the 138.2% fib and then bring it back. And what did it do? It wicked all the way to the 1618. That's the kind of bullishness I was hoping to see in 2025, but this is the first place I've actually seen it happen with my fib extensions. So that's kind of cool. So I would still expect to see it come back to maybe 33.56 to 100% to check it out. Maybe 123.6 instead, but I mean typically it should come all the way back to 33.56 before pushing on higher. Since this went to the 1618, maybe this will go to the 2618, which would be 6607 instead of 61. So if you see any kind of significant pullback on HIMS, this is a great, I would buy it. Right now, it's checking out resistance, or rather, it hit resistance, and now it's gonna have to see if this 4123 is support. Probably not, which makes it 3830 maybe support. And if it fails that, then it's my 3356 target.
Yeah.
And the wave 2 was really fast. This wave 3 is really fast. So the wave 4 might be long. And what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, with my HEMS chart, I have
Yeah.
yeah, with my HEMS chart, I have the 1.272 as resistance right here, the 4664 on log scale. So yeah, I mean, it's getting close to that. It almost hit it on Friday. So this kind of stock, I think, yeah, I think it probably is going to 100, right? I honestly do think HEMS is going to 100, but you can probably trade it on the way up because it's so volatile, like an ETF. Like it could easily get rejected there, like Tracker said, and then go back down and retest the 30s and then go higher again. So you could try to take some profits there and then maybe go back down and then maybe try to just time these fib extensions on the way up, But yeah, it's a very bullish chart. I've been actually dollar cost averaging on the way up all the time. And yeah, I think this is really good. But the support I'm really focused on holding is the linear scale fib down here, and that's the 39.42. So if it holds at 39.42, then perhaps it does not need to go back down to the mid or lower 30s down here. So that's my main focus for support for HEMS 39.42.
All right, thanks, Matt. Live from inside of a laundry basket, it's Tracker. I'm not sure why it sounds like a laundry basket. Is it because it's creaking? I'm wearing this gaming headset, so I keep adjusting the microphone. It's making a creaking sound. It sounds like a plastic laundry basket. Here's Tempest AI, the Nancy Pelosi stock. It is making its way, and I called all of this from down here to here is my wave one, wave two for a higher low, and now we're in wave three, sub one, almost done. 7460 is my target for the wave three, sub one top. Then look for it to test back down here to 5257, and then on up higher. All of wave three would take it to 109.58. So if your cost is down here, you might want to start selling, up to half your position and wait for the wave two bottom and then buy it again. Or if your cost is down here and you don't care, then just you can keep holding it. I think this will go to 236, 1382. Yeah, probably 166. At least 157, maybe 166 in time. So I can get rid of that. Actually, this is doing pretty well.
Yeah.
There's Tempest.
Yeah, it broke out of the cloud, so I think it has potential to keep going. But yeah, like your chart suggests, it could easily backtest that. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to find weekly cloud. It doesn't have weekly cloud yet. It's too young. Just broke out of daily cloud.
Yeah, the daily cloud. That's what I
I'm
meant.
going to do Oklo. Oklo, it went past my projected wave 5 top. So I had, so the 2618, is that right? Yep, that's my extension. It surpassed even my 2618. So I don't know what's going on here with Oklo. It's crazy. It does seem like that could be a nice wave 5 melt up top. So let me just adjust this. I'm looking for a retrace here. So if that wick up that we had on Friday was the top, then a standard retrace would be to 38.2, 23.6618. So let's see what kind of support it gets at 47.05 next. If it sort of hangs around there, it could break down lower, and then 39.57 should be its target. All right, and if it's really bullish, though, the whole thing will actually end up stopping at 33.52 instead. Let me just make a second copy of this for you guys. So it's either going to be that path, or it could be something more like this path. So one of these two paths. The lower one's the standard retrace, a more bullish retrace, would stop at this 50% level at 33.52. And you can see the market still loves it. MCDX Plus very bullish on it, but I'm not sure how much more it's got to give in terms of going higher.
Yeah. And I got a two for real quick for Palantir and
Yeah.
Nvidia. So here's my Palantir chart.
Oh, yeah.
So it's at resistance, guys. People that are chasing here, this is how you get trapped. But this angle right here, I mentioned on my weekly update, is very powerful resistance from even back in November of 2023, and now it's up there again. So the top of that angle is maybe around 115, 116 again. So can I see it go back up to 115, 116 and retest the previous highs from last week? Yeah, I can see that easily. But will it break above this angle? And I don't think it will, right? So that kind of proves to me that maybe it needs to just get people overly excited over and over and over again, just like they make people fearful at support over and over again. They make people very, very bullish over and over again. But I think it's ultimately going to go maybe back down to 100, maybe even a bit below. And the possibility to even retest this arc in the 80s is still there as well too. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm cautious at resistance, guys. And if you're not already in this one, this is something that I don't think people should chase at all right now because it's really, really at a resistance zone right there. And with Nvidia here, we can see that Nvidia is getting back above some important levels, right? It got back above the green level of the GAN. Nice bullish engulfing candle last week to reclaim a lot of levels. And the levels that are reclaimed was also this baseline at 127.04. It closed the week above. So what looked like something scary is now back in its normal range, and back in its normal range is good. So can it come back down to the 127 retest or even the 120s? Yeah, it can. Right, it can definitely do that. So if people are looking for an opportunity, that could be time, but I don't think it's really ready to break out yet. So I think it's going to be just stuck for some time. Probably since it never even touched the cloud here, it still can just go sideways a little bit longer, maybe until March or April, until really it's ready to go higher. So I don't think uh, it's not really out of the woods yet, but it recovered super nicely. That eliminated a lot of my worries that I had last week, right? I was like, if it closes below levels, it's going to be kind of like the worst candle closes in a long time because you can see this baseline here. It hasn't really closed 2 consecutive weeks in a row below it in a long, long time, right? Going all the way back. So just if it did close below it last week, I would have been a little bit nervous, but now it's back in the normal range. So let's focus on 127 holding as support.
Yeah, if you're really tightly trading NVIDIA, obviously follow Real Bond Broker. But also, here, Matt, show my chart real quick. Just do like an 8-hour chart and put that magic moving average 75 on there. And you can see how NVIDIA has just been oscillating, takes off from the 75. This moving average 75 is my orangey, goldish orange line here. Takes off from it. Once it starts to dip through it, then it's trading around it, around it. Let's see how far away we can get from it before it snaps right back to it again. So look for 133.63 to be resistance today probably, and then it'll probably get stuck between that moving average 75 and this 8-hour Ichimoku baseline. Hit this cloud and might follow the inside of the cloud, unless it can get through this short part right there.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation. Watch it
Yeah.
on 8-hour with moving average 75 and Ichimoku's.
And for GET or GET, we already did both LQDT and OCLO, so it's already on the show. You
Oh
can
no, he
go.
was just thinking. He was thanking us for doing
Oh,
them.
thanks for it. Okay. Yeah, oh, I see that.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
You're
but
welcome, Get.
yeah, but he did say OCLO, please, but then I guess he realized that we already did it. So let's see here.
Yeah.
You want to do one more before we go? Yeah.
Yeah, let's both hit. Let's double team SMCI,
Double
right?
team.
Because the VanEck double team it because VanEck semiconductors is starting to look stronger. How does this look on my weekly chart? It's still mostly heavily traded by retail, as shown by the MCDX Plus, but there is a buy signal coming on from last week on the MCDX Plus. Institutional buyers are coming in. I'm looking for an ABC retrace, and I'm looking for quite a bullish one too. So my target's still 57.61 for the A wave up, and then 42.18 for the B wave down. And then because price spent so much time up around this area and even has some wicks, at least the 70.20, possibly this 786. Why is the let's keep it right here. Let's just try to bring 91.42. 91.42 is probably where this ABC retrace would come up to. So that's what I'm looking for. Right now, it's still stuck under the weekly Ichimoku conversion line, and it might bounce really narrowly through there for a little bit, which would be a great place for it to springboard up. How is it looking on the hourly chart? Are we above that yet? No, we're still hanging out. All right, what do you think about SMC on that?
Well, the criteria is almost being met here for me to like it one more time. And one of it is getting back above my arc here, which was a resistance or a support before, then it was a resistance, and now it's getting back above compared our, and that's proof from last week. But it did not close the week above this conversion line there, and that conversion line is at 36.86, but it is above it pre-market, so that is a good thing, opening a candle above it. But I want to see if it can actually close the candle the week above it as well. So that's my criteria. I want to see back above both for weekly candle closes, like it was over here, and I want to see it held. Right, I want to see multiple weeks hold above both those indicators there, and if so, then I think it has potential to go to the $40 level, and then once it breaks that baseline, then it has potential to go higher. But until then, I'm still a little bit cautious until it can actually prove it wants to stay above my arc and the conversion line at a minimum for building a base to go higher. So if it can do that, then I think it'll be okay. But if it can't do that for more than like a couple weeks, then I'll be more and more cautious on it.
Yeah. I have not bought any SMCI, just to let you guys know. Yeah, if you see the price action bounce between the conversion line and the baseline for a little while, that's really good. Or at least it's confirming a direction. Like last time, it actually bounced between the baseline conversion line and then fell out of it, and that's where you got the big plunge here. Yeah. But you go back and look before that in 2023, you can see it bounce between the baseline conversion line before it did that big run up to 110.
Yeah.
So let's see if history repeats itself. All right, it's 9:09, so I know it's time to let Matt go. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, gotta go,
guys.
Thank
you for hanging out with us this morning.
Yeah, thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, right, Tracker? Yeah, tomorrow.
I think so. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, guys, take it easy.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Right, bye-bye.